Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and big things are happening. I was going to make a video on everything that was going on with this Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z situation. I was going to update y'all on the timeline for when Dan Snyder should eventually sell the team and all of that. But thank goodness I didn't do it today, because some big news happened today, man. Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z went out and had dinner and had a meeting for 2+ hours last night. So I'm going to update y'all on this whole Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z thing. I'm also, of course, we got to talk about Matthew McConaughey and Kevin Durant trying to get in on the ownership, and they sound serious. I'm gonna explain why they sound serious, and like I already said, we got to break down the timeline for everything. When do we think all of this should be going down? When should Dan Snyder be selling the team? When will the team be bought? Will Dan Snyder be the owner for the Commanders going into the 2023 season? He may end up selling the team before free agency even starts. So we got to talk about that, and also I want to talk about some of Jay-Z's close relationships attached to the Commanders and why he does have a really good end to the Commanders organization. Jeff Bezos has the money, Jay-Z pretty much has everything else. But yeah, man, before we dive into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one, make sure you pull up every Sunday for the Commanders play-by-play live stream where I'm breaking down everything that's going on throughout the game. Now this week, instead of Sunday, we play Monday night against the Eagles, so make sure you pull up for that live stream for sure. And again, I live stream every Commanders regular season game, and I'm gonna speak it into existence postseason games as well. The season's not over. Let's get it. Alright, so first, November 5th, New York Post reported that Jay-Z and Jeff Bezos will make a bid in the potential Washington Commanders sale. They had a quote that said, "The partnership of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and hip-hop mogul Jay-Z will put in an official joint bid to purchase the team in January, according to sources with knowledge of the situation," unquote. So not only are both Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z interested in buying the Commanders, but it's already been officially reported that they actually want to buy it together. We were hearing rumors and reports about that, but the New York Post came out and officially reported, according to people close to the situation, that it's definitely Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z as a team. Maybe they'll allow some other guys in there, and we're going to talk about Matthew McConaughey and Kevin Durant a little later, but maybe they'll allow some of those guys in there, maybe allow Byron Allen to get part of it. But right now it seems like Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z are the leading candidates, because how can you even beat that duo? Like I already said, Jay-Z has all of the connections, Jeff Bezos has all of the money. But then today TMZ reported, and apparently this happened last night, Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z, their partnership looks really real, because the two billionaires went and had dinner in LA together for 2+ hours, more than 2 hours, Monday night as in last night. I mean, TMZ even has pictures of it. I mean, Jeff Bezos brought out his wife Laura Sanchez, and she even has a post on Instagram in her story that TMZ also reported on, and she said, "Are you ready for some?" And so of course you ended with football. So I mean, she knows something behind the scenes, of course. I mean, she's married to Jeff Bezos, so I mean, apparently this is like, there's some real motion behind this. You even had Corey Gamble there. But yeah, man, the Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z partnership to buy the Commander seems to be in full throttle. Monday night, the two billionaires grabbed dinner in LA, breaking bread for more than 2 hours. The duo hit up horses near the Sunset Strip at around 7:30 p.m., just a couple of days after it was revealed that they both had mutual interest in putting in a bid for Daniel Snyder's Commanders. The restaurant is closed Monday, but the owner opened the doors just for them. And they're saying that Jeff Bezos stayed tableside until about like 9:30, while Jay-Z didn't leave until after midnight. So that's really interesting as well. Of course, TMZ reported that both men kept things low-key as they entered and exited the restaurant. Jay was in a beanie and a hoodie, while Jeff Bezos was in a casual polo. Lauren Sanchez accompanied Jeff Bezos, while Corey Gamble appeared to be alongside Jay-Z. Not sure why. So this is really interesting. Like I said, there's some real motion behind this. They are very serious. They are meeting to discuss whatever terms and conditions they're trying to get in. Again, Jay-Z brings a strong connection to the Commanders and a strong connection to the NFL, along with Jeff Bezos, who is no longer the CEO of Amazon, but he still owns a large portion of the company. He's on the board, and they own Thursday Night Football, like completely just took it over, literally monopolized it. So both of those guys have ins into the NFL. Remember, Jay-Z literally has a partnership with the NFL going back to 2019, where he's taking over like community things and not just football and business stuff, but like making sure that people like Colin Kaepernick and all of that type of stuff are heard. Where their whole mantra is, this is bigger than music, this is bigger than sports, this is about unifying America. So that's Jay-Z's into the NFL already. But then Commanders wise, remember Greg Resch, our former COO, who just left in September. He was here for the past couple of years. He used to work for Roc Nation. He held a pretty high role in Roc Nation under Jay-Z. So that's one connection. Also, don't forget, a firm closely related to Jay-Z assisted in the hiring of Washington team president Jason Wright. So Jay-Z has something to deal with Jason Wright even becoming the team's president. And that's huge. Remember, Jason Wright said the only thing we're going to get anything done here, according to reports, is that if he lasts longer than Dan Snyder. So he definitely wants to be here while Dan Snyder's gone, and they can turn a lot of things around. I love a lot of community things they've done even since Jason Wright has taken over. I mean, they've done a lot of things wrong, but like diversity and inclusion, we're one of the leading franchises in the NFL at doing stuff like that as far as hiring staff and coaching members and things like that. I mean, look at our team up and down, front office, top to bottom, minorities in every way, different races, different genders holding important roles, all kinds of stuff. We were the first to hire a full-time coaching black women to a staff. I mean, they're spearheading a lot of great things, and Jason Wright has had a lot to do with that, along with keeping Doug Williams, who's also done some things on his own. If Jason Wright weren't here, Doug Williams may not still be involved with the organization, and he's been able to start foundations that help minorities and things like that. So I just love the overall thing. And then Jay-Z, and so there goes that connection. I think if Jay-Z were to own the team, he would definitely keep Jason Wright, depending on how much he owns the team and things like that, depending on how much sway and power Jay-Z actually has between him and Jeff Bezos if they were both to buy the team. I mean, the fact that Jeff Bezos even has that much money and he's willing to partner with Jay-Z to buy the team lets you know something. Jeff Bezos could buy the Commanders dozens of times if he wanted to. He literally doesn't need Jay-Z's money. There's a reason that he's having these meetings with Jay-Z and trying to figure out how they're going to buy the team with Jay-Z instead of just going about it alone. Also, longtime Commanders fan, diehard Redskins, Washington football team Commanders fan, Kevin Durant wants to join into the new ownership group as well. He told ESPN on Sunday, in a perfect world, I would be a part of it. I would love to do it. I would love to give a little bit of my money to be a part of the Commanders, but we'll see. Hopefully it's somebody nice. I heard Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z, but you never know, unquote. So it's not necessarily anything concrete. He just basically said that he wants to. It's not like he's like already had a meeting with Jeff Bezos and put his name in there, I don't believe. But I just think that would be really cool. I mean, one of the very few bright sides to Dan Snyder was the fact that he is a diehard Redskins football team and Commanders fan. Kevin Durant is just as much as that, if not even more. I mean, y'all saw when he had that game against the Wizards, his Nets played the Wizards in DC, he made sure he met up with Terry McLaurin before the game. They took pictures. I think Terry McLaurin gave him a signed jersey, and that was really cool. First of all, as a Commanders fan, to see KD acknowledge Terry McLaurin as a star. Terry McLaurin is definitely turning into a star this season, and KD recognizing him and wanting a signed jersey from him is a big part of that. So that made me really happy alone. They had a jersey swap and everything. So there's very few people out there who's more of a Commanders fan than KD. I mean, he'd be at the games even during losing seasons, out there in the cold and everything. So I would love it if Kevin Durant could be a part of the team in any way, even if he's like a super minority owner, like 1% or less. If he just has some influence on the team, I would absolutely love that. And I feel like most people would. And then we recently received news that actor Matthew McConaughey, also another huge fan of the Washington Commanders, wants to be an owner of the team as well. The New York Post reports that McConaughey will join the Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z group that hopes to purchase the franchise from Dan Snyder. An unnamed source told the Post that, quote, Matthew has always been a huge fan and his ties with the team go way back, and that he's good pals with Dan Snyder, unquote. So honestly, I mean, if you look at Matthew McConaughey and Dan Snyder, you see them laughing all of the time. So Jay-Z has the connections to the team as far as the business side and a lot of people who are currently hired there. Jeff Bezos has the most money. Kevin Durant is the biggest fan, you can argue. But Matthew McConaughey is the closest to Dan Snyder by far out of all of those guys. Dan Snyder doesn't like a lot of people. You could probably count on both your hands how many people Dan Snyder genuinely likes just in general in life. Jason Wright may not even be one of them anymore. May never have been. But Matthew McConaughey is definitely one of his closest friends. I mean, again, if you Google image them, you see them laughing and talking to each other. And you know Dan Snyder definitely has like a big shell to where he doesn't let a lot of people into his small circle, into his life bubble. Matthew McConaughey is one of those guys that can sweet talk Dan Snyder if you need him to. Can you do me this favor real quick and please sell this team right now? Type of thing. And if you sell it to me, I'll make sure they don't run it into the mud. I know you don't really like Jay-Z that much, and I know you hate Jeff Bezos, but you can trust me type of thing. So, hey man, again, Matthew McConaughey, even beyond his connection to Dan Snyder, he is a diehard Washington Commanders fan, so I would love for him to be a part of it as well. Remember, there was a report from Football Morning in America that reported that Snyder will not sell the team to Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post. Again, Dan Snyder hates the Washington Post. If there's one organization that Dan Snyder hates the most, it's probably the Washington Post, between them or the FBI right now. So Jeff Bezos being a part of that, then he probably just hates Jeff Bezos naturally just for having more money than him. So it's just, we may need Matthew McConaughey to pull this together. I think ultimately, just like Pro Football Talk from NBC Sports thinks, I think the highest bidder is going to end up getting it anyway. I don't think it's necessarily up to Dan Snyder who he sells the team to. It technically is, but I think the pressure for him to sell the team is so enormous that even if Jeff Bezos is the person he hates the most and the one person in the world he refuses to sell the team to, I think he will still probably end up selling the team to him. So I'm not worried about that, because remember, Dan Snyder said he will not change the team name. Kept saying it. Then it was maybe we'll change the team name. I'll consider it, to him changing the team name. Same thing with ownership. I will not sell this team for years. I mean, just deliberate, declarative. I'm not selling this team no matter what type of stuff. Then it was maybe. And now it's looking like he's going to end up selling the team no matter what, no matter the who type of thing. So I'm not really worried about how much Dan Snyder likes Jeff Bezos or not. But Jay-Z, Matthew McConaughey, and Kevin Durant can only help. But as of right now, it looks like it's Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z together. I would love to add Kevin Durant and Matthew McConaughey. Now to the timeline of when all of this could happen. Well, Fox reported that the Washington Commanders franchise is expected to sell for as much as $7 billion. A little bit more than I even estimated, and the sale is expected to take place within the next 6 months. So first of all, I want to say, man, that Vikings loss hurt, and that would have been a great win, but there's no greater win than hearing that Dan Snyder, according to Jay Glazer, should be selling the entire team by March at the latest. Now Peter King came out and said basically not so fast. There's a report saying, quote, "I figured when word came down that the Washington owner had engaged Bank of America to investigate selling all or part of the team, it had to be a full sale. What wingnut would be dumb enough to invest, say, $1 billion or more to go into business as a minority owner with the worst owner in recent NFL history? But not so fast. I heard over the weekend, I kept hearing, if anyone buys a minority stake, there has to be a clear path to buy out Dan Snyder in a defined number of years. And the hot candidate to buy the team, billionaire Jeff Bezos, I also heard this from a reliable executive well versed on ownership matters. It will never happen. Dan Snyder detests the Washington Post. No way he'd sell to the owner of that paper." So the most important thing to take from that quote is that even if Dan Snyder doesn't sell the full team by March, he'll at least sell a lot of it, and anybody that's willing to buy a minority share, there's going to be a clear path in how many ever years to eventually take over the entire team from Dan Snyder. I hope that's not how it goes down. I hope Dan Snyder just sells the entire team in one swift motion, but it sounds like worst case scenario, somebody will buy a minority share now, like a Jeff Bezos or Jay-Z or the partnership between them, whoever, and then Dan Snyder will eventually sell the entire team maybe years down the line. That's worst case scenario. At the very least though, worst case scenario still results in Dan Snyder selling the team at some point in totality. But I definitely would prefer for him to just go ahead and sell the entire team by March. And again, where's all of this March stuff coming from? Well, Ian Rappaport reported that the Commanders' possible sale, my understanding is, on the Commanders' possible sale, my understanding is that the number could reach $7 billion with the timeline of the March league meeting if all goes well. So basically, everything goes according to plan, everything is running exactly how it is, we're on schedule for him to end up selling the team by March at the latest. He could sell it before then, but by the time we have those owners meetings in March before free agency kicks off, he'll probably sell the team by then. So like I said in the intro, there's a good chance that we could have new ownership heading into free agency. I mean, you never know, you can have new coaching staff heading into free agency. We'll see. I like Ron Rivera for a lot of reasons, man, but right now it's not working. His time management, Scott Turner's inconsistent play calling, the mishandling of this entire quarterback situation. Look how much we regret not getting Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, or Tua Tagovailoa right now, and trying to do this. We always do this patchwork quarterback situation. Bring in Carson Wentz, give him a try. Throw Taylor Heineke out there. Carson Wentz gets hurt. Throw Taylor Heineke out there again. It's not gonna work. Draft your quarterback. We drafted one in the 5th round, but we don't want to throw him out there. So until further notice, we're going to be perpetually average with the way that we handle our team. You have other teams that's out here being aggressive and doing what they got to do to win. We're not that type of team right now, sadly. I wish my Commanders would take at least a little bit of notes from my Georgia Bulldogs. Just a little bit. Can they at least brush shoulders or something? But yeah, back to my point. I mean, you saw Sean Payton saying that him and Lamar Jackson will be free agents at the same time. Hey man, again, I love Ron Rivera, but Sean Payton and Lamar Jackson, that's literally our only problem. I've been complaining about this basically since I've been alive. I wasn't alive to see any of our Super Bowls. I've been alive since basically Dan Snyder has owned the team. So I haven't really seen greatness, and no matter what, usually we end up having a really good defense. We'll have good skill position players here and there, and that's what we're currently dealing with right now. Great defense top to bottom. One of the best defenses in the NFL. This defense deserves that win from the Vikings. They did everything they basically should have to win that game against the Vikings. This offense is letting them down. But even on offense, if we're talking about our skill position players, our receivers, our running backs, our tight ends, there are teams out there that are winning games right now that have a better record than us, that are jealous of our skill position players. Granted, our offensive line needs a lot of work as well, but the quarterback position is really one of the main problems that we have right now. If we had the Justin Fields that just played on Sunday, or just Justin Herbert, how he's been in general, how Tua's been this year, we would at the very least be 6-3, literally. But for some reason, this team wants to just keep putting band-aids on the quarterback position instead of truly diving in and taking a risk to solve it. It is what it is, man. But that's why I love the idea of Sean Payton and Lamar Jackson, because our biggest problems have been play calling, offense really in general, especially the past few years, and quarterback especially. And Lamar Jackson would answer that emphatically. He would fix that beautifully. And then Sean Payton is come on now. With new ownership, I'd literally cry. I cry like a baby. New ownership, Sean Payton as the head coach and Lamar Jackson as the quarterback. With this defense, we're Super Bowl contenders. Literally Super Bowl contenders that day. It's ridiculous. I don't care what we got to give up to even get Lamar Jackson, even if you have to trade for him. We draft better in the 3rd round anyway. Just give up some firsts and some seconds and keep it pushing, man. And then just be aggressive in free agency like a lot of these other teams, but aggressive with some intelligence and some logic to it. Don't be stupid aggressive. Be logical with your aggression. I mean, look at the Eagles, man. Look at the Rams last year. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please leave a like on this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. And as always, man, I appreciate all the support, man. Shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors, whose names you see scrolling on the screen right now. Again, I really appreciate y'all. And again, get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about Kevin Durant, Matthew McConaughey, Jeff Bezos, Jay-Z, everybody, man. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.